I want to talk about the fact that the brain, or our neurobiology, is fantastic. We used to think of it as like a machine, that the brain was like a machine. If you plugged information in, you would get information out. But actually, the more you study the brain, the more you see how incredibly flexible it is. It's called plastic, neuroplasticity, how plastic the brain is, how the brain learns, how it changes, how it grows over a lifetime. And yet it builds itself on building blocks which are genetically inherited. Okay, so within the range of our genes, we're incredibly flexible. And it's amazing and magical how the brain performs. The brain is an open system in that the brain responds to input from the environment through the body, through our senses, and it outputs signals to the body as a response, and then the body behaves in the world in response to those inputs. But the other really interesting thing about the brain is that consciousness, our state of mind, our thinking, and our personality also emerge from the interaction of the brain's neurons. And that's pretty amazing, that we have things as simple as how to lift my leg, and as complex as who I am in the world and how I respond to the natural environment around me, for instance. So the brain regulates and organizes all of those functions within us. But again, just to mention that its primary function is survival. So it is going to do whatever it has to do to survive, so that the body and the brain and the being within all that survive. But I want to show you something else that I think is great. I already mentioned it, and that is that Stephen Porges, who is one of the sort of leading people in neuroscience right now, he had a book that he wrote called The Polyvagal Theory, which he wrote in 2001, but he's written a couple of books since then, and I've heard him give 2 lectures, and he is amazing. And he talks about the fact that we have a second brain, which is the gut and the heart, which also have neurons in them. And so the old idea, that I'm heartsick, or I feel emotionally, heart sick or heart wounded in some way, is actually true. And the fact that I get a gut response to something, or I get some kind of a gut feeling about something, is also true, because the vagus nerve that feeds up into the brain brings the information, and 90% of that information is going up into the brain, and only 10% is down into the gut to tell it to digest food. So what's it there? Why do we have this vagal nerve bundle if it isn't because there's information that is needed in the brain to give us more information about our gut feelings?